Yeah. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chaotic Neutral Games and our current D&D 5th edition campaign, The Benefactor. I'm Simon Cantor, your host and DM, and I have with me Nick, Felicia, Kate, Rodrigo, and Corinne, our players. Previously on The Benefactor, the party defeated members of the street gang called the Razor Boys and met Hecris, one of the remaining enforcers of Renata Green, who call themselves the Cobble Dogs. They recovered in a recommended tavern, the Hawk and Harness, which they found out last session to be their new home. They're settling down for a night's rest now, and whatever the morning begins. And let's time into the game. Hello, everyone.
Oh!
Hello.
So I left you with a question last session, and the question was, where are you sleeping? Are you choosing to sleep in the Hawk and Harness? Or are you choosing to go back home or doing something else? Who knows? So I'm going to go around the table, as it were, and find out where you're all sleeping. First of all, Cora.
All right. Well, I am gonna sleep here, I think.
Okay, good stuff. In that case,
I might see what Farewell's doing. I'm probably gonna be like going. Are we? No, I don't know. Like I want to kind of try it out. I can always go home later.
Of course, yeah, you have that.
Yeah, did we? Sorry, Simon.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did we pick up our stuff, or are we still to do that?
So you were told that if you wanted to locate here tonight, they will send some of the labourers, some of the Green Organisation labourers, with some carts to pick up either some of your stuff or all of your stuff if you want. And they'll move you in. You guys haven't even seen the rooms yet. You've been told that you're being given rooms here, but you haven't seen the rooms themselves. So
Yes. Probably want to see the rooms.
Sure. So you ask on this, and it's a different person, just one of the servers. It's actually the small dwarven woman. She goes, sure. By the way, I'm Maggie, dear. If you'd like to follow me. And as she goes up the stairs with you, she takes you to the top floor. And she says, so we put this door in here at the end of your corridor, and you can see there's a door that's labeled private. She opens it up. It's not locked or anything, and the corridor carries on, and you can see on the plates, in little copper plate handwriting, copper plate engraving, there are your names next to each of the doors, and there's a key in each of the locks, which is now presumably belonging to you.
Eclipse will go and see her room, but yeah, Cora first.
Okay. I was going around for what people are doing tonight, but if you're all going up as a party, we'll keep the party together. So yeah, you have a look at your rooms. Your rooms are all identical. They're all en suite. They are very lavishly decorated. There are things here that you would never have seen in Freetown, Cora. You've seen like kind of like, I guess, weavings, tapestries, things like that. And people have painted the wood of the walls before. This is the first time that you've been in a room that you can call your own that's got like wallpaper, and there's some paintings on the wall. You had a couple of paintings back home, but these are quite big and quite talented. And the bed, for example, you weren't quite sleeping on a straw pallet. Back in Freetown, you did have a fabric bed, but it was a fabric bed. This one has a full feather mattress and feather duvet and feather pillows. Basically everything that would kill me in an instant, because I'm actually severely allergic to feathers. Yeah. Yeah,
Make a death saving throw.
I nearly had to at London Comic Con, actually, because I got shown around and all the rest of it. And I was just like, these beds look really good. what are they made out of? It was like, oh, damn, only the best. I was like, yeah, have you got any towels? So,
This is
yeah.
the first campaign I'm in where it's the DM who dies. instead of the players.
Yeah, so
thought we
allergic
all
that even
agreed
describing
this
feathers,
session
I
we
need to go
wouldn't.
to hospital. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought we agreed this session we wouldn't talk about death saving throws. I'm still a very traumatic boy.
Too soon. Okay, so and you see, as I say, the furniture's there. Each of you has a small guest table, so a little round table, like a coffee table, with 4 chairs around it. There's a bureau, like a desk. There's a wardrobe with mirrors on the front. There's the desk, in some cases, can be made up like a dressing table, I guess, because it has got a mirror nearby as well. And you've got what's quite clearly I keep forgetting if it's a closet. I think it is a closet where it's actually built into the building. And there's also, what you can see, one of those swanky indoor toilets.
Ooh.
Oh yes, no expense spared.
Fancy.
And when you open the door to the toilet, there's also your own bath. Now, okay, this is sounding really unremarkable to the players, but your characters are like, my own bath, and it's enameled and has got like kind of griffin feet, and it's made not of real griffin feet, and all the rest of it, and you're just like, oh my god, they've made this floor palatial. And you haven't got a room each, you've got a suite each.
Jesus.
And I'm sure that once you open one of them, you all go to your separate rooms, and you feel almost like, is this really for me? And then you remember my name was on the door. And then you open the closet. It's not a walk-in wardrobe, it's not that big, but there's
Jesus.
already filled. So what you can see in there is a set of clothes, and they all appear to be, not that you've compared each other's, but they all appear to be perfectly tailored to your size already. The clothes are kind of strange. On the left-hand side, there are some dirty, horrible rags, like a beggar would be in. And on the right, there's 2 costumes. One is a courtier's costume with brocade on the shoulders and piping and all the rest of it. And the other one is like a generic military uniform. Now, on the courtier's costume, there is a pair of epaulets. And the epaulets have the green symbol on them. But because they are proper epaulets, proper button-on types, you can just remove these, and this would just look like a general courtier's costume. The military uniform, as I say, is a generic military uniform. It's not the military uniform for Vardencourt. It is just a kind of like Army Navy store type stuff that mercenaries would want to dress it up in if they were, for example, mucking in with the real military. What is called a free company uniform. In between that are different types of clothing from the slightly more well-to-do parts of the city to slightly well-to-do workers, to the slightly more downtrodden workers, and then these rags that are on the left-hand side. And they're saying, why would they put these dirty, filthy
I know exactly.
Hang on. Not stinking. The smell is neutral. There is no smell. And all closets have a smell. You go and you touch the dirt that's on these rags, and the dirt is actually illusionary. It's an enchanted item.
Ooh.
Enchanted dirt.
Hey.
A minor enchantment at best.
I mean, I can do major dirt. So.
Minor
Major dirt. The shoes that are at the bottom again go all the way from what seem to be a set of foot wraps to wonderful military boots and then dress military boots.
I don't wear shoes.
Oh.
So yeah, they're all there, but it's the bag that you guys kind of look at. Hanging on the inside of the door is a shining, beautiful patent leather bag. Oh, not patent leather, because that's glossed. It's shined like an oiled leather bag. And hanging next to it is what seems to be some sort of belt pouch as well.
Cool.
If you touch the belt pouch, it clinks. And if you open it up, there are 3 bottles for which inside is a cherry red liquor in each bottle.
Healing potions?
Yep, you recognize these as the lowest form of healing potions.
So we have 3 regular healing potions each.
Each, yeah.
Ooh.
I grab mine instantly and put it on.
Yep.
I want to grab the bag. Is the bag special?
We'll get to the bag in a sec.
I was going to
Cora,
say, for Farewell, I don't even think he's going to go through his cabinet. As soon as he's seen that bathtub, he's already drawing a bath if it self-draws. And he's in it. Like, I mean, like, if you ever to walk in his room, his armor and his clothes will be just everywhere, and he's in that water and he's underneath and he's soaking in like really hot water. He's had a shit afternoon and he just wants to hang underneath water for a good couple of hours. So he's not explored any of his room. He is just, as soon as he saw that tub, that was it, like wide eyes. He did the same thing as our klepto cat did with the bag. He just went straight for the bathtub and he's going to be good for a couple of hours.
Okay. So, Cora, as you put on the belt pouch, what type of clothes are you currently wearing?
That's a good question. Kind of simple-ish kind of leathers, sort of, and like linen trousers and boot. Kind of quite dark, but not like black, but like just dark browns and
Okay.
neutral type colors, earthy colors, stuff that would blend in.
These are combat leathers, aren't they?
There are some combat leathers, yeah, I think, because
Okay.
I got AC from something, so.
The well-oiled belt pouch and belt, the second you put it on, matches the rough leather of your armor. Apparently, it's got a minor enchantment on this one as well, and the pouch now looks as battered as the rest of your armor.
Cool.
Fancy.
If you take it off again, it goes back to being shiny and new.
That's nice. I don't want something so blingy.
Oh, by the way, Rodrigo, I gave you
Yeah?
dimming goosh, so you have the parry thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just gonna write it down somewhere.
Somewhere.
So the main gauche, as I pointed out, I will get you an item card. It's been a bit of a week.
That's
The
fair.
main gauche is a dagger that you hold in your offhand.
Mhm.
As long as you only use it for parrying, so a shield by another name, you still benefit from your dueling fighting style. So as long as you don't strike with your offhand, you're fine. You'll still be using the dueling technique. And whilst you're wielding it, you get a benefit. So it has to be in your hand. It can't just be on your body. While you're wielding it, whilst it's in your hand, you have a benefit of the feat Defensive Duelist, which means for one you can use your reaction, and for one attack, you will be able to add your proficiency modifier, which is currently +2, to your AC.
Okay.
Important thing about defensive duelist, you can use it after you know if it hits or not.
Yes, that is important. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
Like uncanny dodge with the rogue, right?
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah.
But this
yeah.
one will just add your proficiency modifier onto your AC, so you can, if they just hit, you can be like, oh well, I'm gonna add my proficiency modifier so they don't hit, and it's only melee attacks.
Yeah, exactly that.
I figured.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
So the other thing that was asked is Eclipse. You take the bag,
Yes.
the satchel
Yes.
off the door, and you take a look at it. It's a nice bag.
Yeah. I open it. Stick my hand in it.
Yeah, you put your hand in it. Nothing seems to happen.
Okay. It's just a normal bag.
Presumably.
I take some of my stuff and put in the bag, so like transfer stuff from my bag I'm using to this bag.
She's so trying to see whether or not this is a bag of holding or not. It's so painful.
Yeah.
I love it. Yes, you put an
Yeah.
item in the bag and it disappears.
Yay!
You each have a bag of holding.
Yes.
Blimey.
Whoa! Wow.
It's a bag of holding. Yay!
So I'm going to assume we each, when we get round to it, we each have a bag of holding.
Yes, you each have a bag of holding. You each have a brace of 3 healing potions, and you have the various accoutrements that I've described. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You do also notice a few other things. In the corridor, there's a healer's kit strapped to the wall. Okay.
Oh,
So-
I'll take that. Put it in my bag.
And at the end of the corridor as well, there's a unopened cupboard.
Ooh. I open the cupboard.
Okay.
I'm currently being as cat-like as possible to explore everything. You know, like when you have a cat in a new environment, they will just like go and sniff everything. That's currently
Fair.
I'm thinking of Red Dwarf,
Yeah.
an episode you haven't seen. Where it goes, "This is mine. This is mine. This is mine. Everything is mine." Sure.
Just going like spread my face against it.
I'm just thinking of the Lazy Town song where Siggy is singing, like everything is his. Yes.
So you go
Yeah.
up to the wardrobe, well, the cupboard, wardrobe, what have you. It's a big wooden armoire at the end of the corridor, and when you try for the handle, it's quite clearly locked. But the second you touch the handle, it says, there's a voice in your head that says, "Identify yourself."
Eclipse of the moon.
Click, and it unlocks.
Yeah. What's in it? What's in it?
You open it up, and the inside is larger than the outside. Inside the armoire is
It's a
20-foot by 20-foot room,
Ooh.
and
I go
the
inside.
walls are bristling with weapons.
Ooh. Are they?
If this feels too good to be true, we're gonna die tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like cat eyes.
It's working.
Like complete
It's
like,
working.
dinner plates. My eyes are currently like dinner plates. I'm walking around and like. Ooh.
Yep.
Are they? I assume they're normal weapons, as in they're not like magical in any way.
Well, not everything in the weapons list is here. Only the things that you'd expect to see for you guys. So
Yeah.
there are some replacement shields, maces, quarterstaffs, daggers. There's some
Arrows.
scimitars and rapiers that I would approve of. There are various forms of wands and orbs and casting rods and things like that. A quick check by those of you of an arcane nature, you realize that none of these things are enchanted. They're just common supplies at present.
I assume this is like loads of arrows, so I won't have to worry about arrows again.
Oh god, yeah, arrows, bolts, all the rest of it. And there's a little notice that's being hung on one of the swords, a longsword, and it says resuppliers every Thursday.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Not bad.
The entire thing is empty.
Yeah, it got sold it all.
Okay.
I don't think we'll ever want for money ever again, really.
Yeah. Farewell's going to grab his badge and he's going to message Cora, and she's just going to get this absolute excited burst of just try the bath, and then that's it, and there's no responses. He's just back in, and he's like, he is such a happy boy right now.
Oh yeah. Glory probably like inspected all the outfits and then flopped down on the bed and like cuddled the soft duvet.
Okay,
Because she can.
yeah. Glory, you've known some of the finer things in life. You have maybe been in beds that are this equal, but not many.
No, not many.
Cora, before she got the message from Farewell, Cora was just, she strapped that thing. She didn't really look at everything else, and she just kind of sat down on the bed and was just kind of looking around, taking it all in, not feeling like she should be there. Doesn't feel she deserves this or should even have this, and is thinking of all the people that she knows who don't have this.
Yeah.
So she was feeling a bit, and the only thing she wanted was those healing potions on her hips, so that you know, if anyone went down again, she could help them. But getting that message from Farewell sort of has lightened the spirits a little bit, because it's like, okay, he's happy, this is okay, there's a plan, let's do this.
He's happy.
The footprint of
There's a
each
bath.
of your bedrooms
boy's
is
happy.
basically a 20-foot by 20-foot main room, and then a 5-foot by 5-foot cupboard, and then toilet and bathroom, which is basically 5-foot by 10-foot. It's, you know, it's a fair old size. You're feeling incredibly small, Cora. Your last bedroom was considered a big bedroom at around just shy of 10-foot by 10-foot. As in, the entire party couldn't fight in it.
And even that room, she felt she shouldn't be there, because she's thinking of where her family are.
Yeah.
So this is too much.
Any of you who open up any of the minor drawers will find yet more things. I'm not going to list them all, but they are small living things. Quills, ink, paper, you know, things like toothbrushes and things like that, and shaving implements, all of this kind of thing, and they're all of a good standard. And the one thing that you do notice is on each of your bureaus you have a small envelope.
No.
Ooh, I want to read the envelope.
Okay, it's
Go
simply.
on, Rodrigo. Were you gonna say something, Rodrigo?
Yeah. I was gonna say what Aiden does is and then he doesn't care how he grabs the healing potions. He doesn't care how fancy the bed is. It's a bed, and he fucking falls asleep in it.
It's like an outline of dirt on it now. Like,
Yeah.
where you like.
He just wants to sleep.
Yeah. I was gonna say that in Eclipse's room, there's probably extra big hairbrushes because cat.
Yeah.
Just a novelty-sized hairbrush.
Yeah.
It's like really soft, like made for furry, it's a horse brush. Just going.
Is it one of those gloves that you put on that takes
Yeah.
the sun?
Yeah.
Yes.
Love it. So you were looking at the envelope. The envelope opens up, and it has it's on scented notepaper, and it has a very brief message on it, and it says, "The lifestyle in payment. Welcome, Renata."
Ooh.
Ooh,
Okay.
thank you. Eclipse is very, very happy right now.
Oh, so is
Like,
Glory.
For two very different reasons.
Tabaxi are not known for wanting of material things, but they still like it when they have it. They can just take it or leave it, but when they have it, they're very happy anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say post bath time. What time of day are we looking at?
You
So I've got
wound down for the rest of the day. I mean, it is getting to dusk.
Mm.
Eclipse will go, once she explored the room, she'll go to her place and get some of her stuff. It's not much, but she'll go get
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
You've got enough time
Glory's
to.
kind of gonna need some help getting all of her stuff here.
There are some guys waiting outside, green uniforms, green kind of laborers with green organization badges on, and they've got a little hand cart that they're very happy to help you back with your things. So you're going to go and get your
Nice.
things back, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
Glory likes this place. She's gonna stay here.
Okay.
I'll go and say and end my lease with my other place as well, and be like, hey, I don't need this room anymore. Bye.
Yeah,
They're like,
same.
yeah, sure. Yeah. You have a feeling that they may have already been told.
Thinks of everything. I'm just going to knock on Cora's door.
Hey.
You. I'll open the door, assuming that it's unlocked.
Yeah, it's unlocked. You're cutting out on me though. I'm not hearing
Oh,
you.
sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So you okay?
Yeah. This is kind of crazy though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we literally joined today, and there is a name plaque on the door, and there is stuff built to my size. Like, it's kind of creepy. Like, how long have they been watching us? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I won't lie. I'm terrified and excited all at the same time.
Yeah.
I really feel we've got ourselves into some real trouble. we're really in trouble.
Yeah. They don't put this sort of stuff on and expect you just to chill out. Like, they have. We're in debt now, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just a bit much. And the thing is, I think I'd looked at the letter by this point. I'd started to wander around after I got the message. So, are we getting all of this? Like, I can't give anything to my family. I can't give this to my family. I need gold to give to my family, you know?
I get it. We'll get gold. We'll find gold. We need it. We'll get it, but I think that this is to show or buy where we're supposed to be going. But I won't lie, it's too soft.
What, the bed?
Yeah, I missed my caravan already. I didn't even like those places we were staying in before. I miss the caravan. I miss my family. I know we've only been here a few hours, and I don't want to be rude, but I don't know. I don't feel comfortable here. I mean, sure, the others. I mean, and the others. I mean, did we have a choice? Did we make a mistake?
I don't know. I'm trying to think past the short term, you know? We're here for a reason. We're here to try and find out stuff, to get better, to get influence that we can then use to do other things. This isn't all we're here for. We're not just slaves to this or whatever. I want to I need to grow to be able to do what we need to do. And I'm not going to do it in Freetown, just doing the odd adventuring thing. It's not enough. But this isn't ideal. I don't know. I think this is
Did you see the bath? I know this sounds so silly. I've never seen something like that. And but then I'm like, And then I don't have the words. It's. I want my things. I think that's all I know, and that I want to take it one step at a time. And
Yeah. Look, I don't have much back at my other room, but I want to go back and just gather up my stuff, and we'll see. I'm kind of feeling like I want to stay there one more night.
yeah, we need to sort that dust out as well, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't want to do that tonight.
And we've got to figure a way to talk to the others about
Exactly.
it.
And I'm kind of tired, and I feel a bit beat up, and
You feel beat.
and then I kind of tap the belt with the healing potions, and like, well, at least that might not happen again.
Well, I'm sorry.
What for?
I told you I would be careful. I wasn't. I was trying to be somebody I'm not. Greta always
trying
told.
to do that.
Yeah, Greta keeps telling me that I should stand up straighter and chest out, and she's got all these amazing lines that she can always deliver, and I just don't have the same sort of credence that she does, and I'm talking too much again, and I really need to stop. Let's get my books. Let's do that. Let's go get my books if you want to come.
Yeah, I'll come.
Please come.
Let's-
Okay. So I'm gonna go get my things.
Okay. Both Nick and Kate note down that you've got a point of inspiration.
Aww.
Thank you.
That's my second one.
You can only have one at a time, though.
Yeah, I can have one at a time.
No, you
And
can
I've
bank.
got- Oh, I can bank.
Okay.
Screw you guys.
Bank that
DM says I can
shit.
bank.
DM says.
DM says.
That's okay. It's just, I give you healing potions, I give you inspiration, and then I try to kill you. It's a thing. So
Yeah, I'm expecting it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the fall. I'm very much waiting for the fall.
By the way, Kate, I'm just gonna remind you because I know everybody forgot last time about your cat that said meow at you.
Yeah. I was thinking that actually before the game started, and then I clearly forgot it again. I think that's going to be something that Cora remembers on our little walk back towards Freetown.
Yeah.
Some people
Honestly,
did walk
that's-
past me in work when I had my my notebook open, and it's got a post-it note says with on it, "Cat says meow." It's a good thing I've got a daughter, otherwise they would be kind of like, "Why is he writing cat says meow?" on
Cat says meow. Dog says
think-
woof.
I
Says
think the
snake.
smartest thing any D&D player has done was probably Liam O'Brien giving Caleb like keen mind and a photographic memory. So that
Yeah.
way he's like, "Oh, I don't remember anything."
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you've
Bitch for
got the
Matthew.
same in World of Darkness. There's a thing called eidetic memory, and much like keen mind, it is the bane of all DMs, where it's like, you forgot this. No, I didn't. I've got keen mind. Tell me everything. Oh, damn. Okay, here's a plot synopsis. You're gonna get it all now. Eep. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, you guys are gonna go and head back to Freetown. So let's see. It was Glory that was going to go down first, because I'm getting this to all kind of happen at the same time. So Glory,
Mm.
when you get down to the bar on your way out, you do get called over, and you get called over by. Let me see. Who would it be? It would be Noki. So Noki calls you over, and he says, "Do you mind giving this to the others as well?" And he hands you a small purse of coin and a folded piece of paper.
Ooh.
Ooh, yeah, sure. I'll fix that.
Okay. Weighing it in your hand, there's probably about 80 gold in there. You've had that much before.
Yeah.
Not for a
No
while, but
biggie.
you have had back home. You had that. You would work with those amounts. Yeah, if that's all gold in there, it's probably about 80 gold.
Goody.
Okay. So the piece of paper, if you end up unfolding it and reading it, is an invoice. And it's got the header at the top, states an accountant that apparently is somewhere in the city. And it's got the name of the business rather than the individual accountant. And it states on the invoice, eradication of vermin as the service provided. And the total being paid to you was 90 gold, of which 10 gold was given in taxes. And so your taxes have already been prepaid, and the remainder is 80, which is what you've got.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
We pay taxes in D&D.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah!
Oh yeah.
Look, even in fantasy, death and taxes follows you everywhere.
Yep. We've had death, now taxes. It's a thing. You know.
We agreed we wouldn't talk about that.
We've got to do our tax form next session.
Once again, I mean, it was something that Kate brought up, but is a very important point, and that is this was all done very quickly.
Yeah.
Not only did they register the kills, but they not only paid you, they also took the taxes out and lodged it with the accountant.
Fuck.
In a few hours. I wish I got paid that fast. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Food.
Sorry, did I touch a nerve there? Sorry, guys. So, yeah, so Glory goes off to her lodgings. Eclipse goes off and gets her things as well. Cora and Farewell go together. Aiden, unless you've said differently, is still face down unconscious on the bed.
I already have all my stuff with me, so
Unconscious on the bed it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're the first person to sleep, and the question I put to you at the end of last session and beginning of this session is, where are you sleeping? It's here and now. So I'm going to do you first.
okay.
Make a wisdom saving throw with your disadvantage.
Prepare to roll initiative.
I did attack everybody in my Tuesday game in this sleep. And as much as I like double bluffs, making everybody think they're safe, don't worry, it's not that.
Okay.
This isn't a dream. This is a memory. You're going back into a memory in your sleep, and it's a memory that's quite fresh in your mind, largely because it's a memory that happened a little bit after you going through the procedure of becoming a blood hunter. You went through the training, went through the various trials. The trials weren't anything super organized. It's just a family that do it, where they run you and they put you through some endurance stuff, regular things, lifting things, running around, stuff like that, to see if you've got enough stamina to be able to withstand the procedure. You went through the procedure, which largely, again, no major ceremony. There's things that they did, things that's important, mostly them telling you that that you're a great lad, and some of your loved ones came up and told you that they loved you and all the rest of it, because people have died during the procedure. After that, you were taken to a barn with a number of your father was there, and various other people armed to the teeth. And they sat you down at a ramshackle chair, at a ramshackle table, and in front of you were 3 simple earthenware bottles with a rather strange smell coming out of at least one of them. The procedure was that you drank the bottles in order. The first one went down quite easy. The second, you started to feel weaker and weaker. If you weren't sat down, you were almost certain that you would fall down. And by the time you got to the bottom of the second bottle, you could barely lift the bottle.
And they all taste like shit.
Oh God, yeah. That most foul thing. Whilst you're drinking these things, you're stopping yourself from gagging. You're stopping yourself from throwing up, and after a while, stopping yourself from passing out. The first sip of the third bottle made a racking ache go through your body. The second sip, a racking pain, and you're there thinking, this has got to be 200 mils of liquid, and I've had 2 sips, and I feel like someone is pulling my body apart. You steel yourself for this. I mean, this is no surprise. You were told it was going to be this bad, and knowing that the only way is out of this, you've just drunk 2 very heavy toxins. The only way to survive this procedure is to get to the bottom of that bottle. And so, gripping onto the table, sweat pouring down your brow, you end up drinking the last of the tinctures. And with a huge scream, you fall to the floor, have a seizure, and you woke up. Not dead, thankfully. Would have made a very short campaign. And you wake up a blood hunter. Also, there's a certain numbing to the world that happens when you get this. You feel pain a lot less, and that's probably very good considering a lot of your abilities considered cutting yourself. And the memory that starts, although I've given a bit of backstory to your transfiguration, the memory that is cropping up in your head now, after you flick through all of that, is of you going on one of your first missions. Okay? You are still fairly green as blood hunters go. You've not taken down any major big bads. So this wasn't very far after your changing, and it wasn't very far before the terrible calamity that happened to your family. You're standing with a bunch of canal men. Some of them actually members of the family, some of them are hired mercenaries. And there's a cold wind that blows across your face. But after the process, and they normally say the process with almost a capital P announced in it, you barely feel it. You don't feel the cold much anymore. The world around you presents itself in a painfully sober and clear level of detail. You didn't realize how much you didn't pay attention to before the process. And on this mission, night sky, there's cold wind, there's barely a cloud in the sky. You realize exactly how much you didn't pay attention to now. You're aware of the stars in the sky around you. You know exactly what shape the moon is at the moment, what phase it's in. A rabbit at 200 feet away, a rabbit comes out of the brush, sees some people standing there, and darts back in. You notice it. It's painfully sober. And you've been given a task, whilst the more accomplished blood hunters in your family go for the big bad, which is in this case a vampire. You are going for some of the also-rans. You've been told of a drop-off point where they stash various things, and that some people have been seen heading there with a large cart. You head up to the area with the other canal men. You are in command. And when you walk up there, there's a few, what seems to be villagers towing this cart, and you're there thinking, great, I've just got to basically scare a bunch of the locals into not serving the damn vampire. And it's only when one of them turns around and he has this crazed look in his eyes as he says, yes, are you supposed to be here? Are you supposed to be helping us? Or did you get invited here? And he looks over you and goes, "Ha! You're them!" He pulls a sword out and charges at you like a zealous maniac. It doesn't take long for you guys to cut him down. That was the last time you saw a thrall, to go back to last session. Minds nearly addled by the power of their master ripping through their body and in their head. Typically, thralls are made by allowing a mortal to drink of vampire blood. An incredibly addictive process. Your mind shifts again. It seems that because you had that theory earlier on today, you just have accessed that part of your memory where you're like, yep, that's what a thrall looks like. And there's only a few things that you can draw as parallels between Olivia and that thrall, largely the pale skin. Okay, but you've seen other people with pale skin. I mean, you've got pale skin. Your memory then goes to the night before the calamity, your family calamity. And people were on edge. I mean, they tend to be on edge quite a lot anyway. You know, undead hunters tend to be, by their very nature, paranoid people. And add into the mix that some people drink different forms of the process that give them very hyper-adrenal states and even shape-shifting abilities. You're a slightly odd family. But you do hear little snippets of conversation that you dismissed at the time. People always sharing like little conspiracy theories. It's very tin hat. And you usually dismiss them. But right here, right now, and especially considering the process was so fresh back then, now you've learned to ignore things and be a bit more ignorant than back then. But you can remember. And as you cast your mind back, it's like you're there again, hearing these snippets. And I'm going to give you the snippets of conversation that you hear, just in case any of them might turn out to be useful. I'm telling you, Rainheim would not have given him that much power. Likely he gave him heart's blood. It won't be enough for him. He won't rest until it's complete, I'm telling you. We have the key. He won't leave that alone. Okay, I will text you those lines, so don't worry if you haven't got them all down.
Wrote them down.
Those are 4 separate family members who were just saying something in conversation as you passed. You dismissed it at the time. Well, kind of. You were just paying attention to everything else. Hindsight now, you're recalling them. When you do wake, you wake refreshed, but annoyingly with more questions than answers. Okay, right.
As soon as I wake, Simon, if you let me do.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Quickly. When I wake up, doesn't matter what time is it. Like it could be morning, it could be like still the middle of the night. To Freetown.
Yep.
And I'm gonna head. I'm gonna say an inn because in this type of setting, that's the best way you can get jobs, right?
Yep, there are jobs boards that are posted up on inns. There's also
right.
the Burrow, which is Robar Fathrum's kind of tenement block that he's made. It's not particularly tall. It's very much kind of built on itself like a bit of a mound. And it's about 4 stories high, but it's the size of about 4 blocks. And there's like little alleyways that go through it. And there are places there that you can actually go and sign up for work as well.
I'm gonna head to I'm gonna imagine like a local inn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna like a local inn. And I'm gonna go talk to the bartender, which I'm gonna say I have talked to.
Sure. You go to an inn that you've been to before. Yep.
Yeah. I tell him I'm not gonna drink anything right now. I just tell him. I just wanted to let you know. finally found like a place to stay at. You know,
It's good.
living place.
That's good. You got
But it's
digs.
kind of far away. It's kind of far away from here. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep doing. No. I just came here to tell you because you hadn't had like quite a while, right? You think you guys are gonna be okay?
We should be all right. I mean, we haven't had any of the previous troubles, so obviously we'll carry on with our part of the deal. We'll keep our ear to the ground for that name, and if we hear anything, we will keep it until you check in with us, I guess.
It's thank you. It's not. It's not that. I'm just worried that without me going around, some gonna happen, and I don't like that.
If we need you, we'll send for you. Robar will know where you are.
Okay. All right.
He's the big man. He'll know where you are.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. All right.
Hey, Aiden.
All right. Thank.
He tosses you a small Hessian bag. Inside is, and you saw that he was rummaging under the desk. Inside the bag is a small earthenware bottle which seems to have some watered down mead in it. There's a couple of apples, some dried meat, and some bread. Because take care of yourself, yeah?
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.
I leave him 2 gold pieces on a table, and before he can say anything, I just leave.
Okay. Yeah, because you just left. I don't have to tell you what his reaction is. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
I'm going to switch over to which one first? I'm going to switch over to Cora and Farewell, actually.
Oh dear.
So you're going to your 2 separate places. So you go there mostly together. Cora, you go inside your place, and you grab your stuff. And upon leaving, leaning against the doorway, is a large, tall, broad-shouldered figure. You know him very well. He's even though of later years, early 50s, he's a handsome figure, dark brown skin, large brown eyes, kind of soft features, huge hands, which are calloused with work. He has what seems to be, for a man of his size, and he's like a good 5'8". Sorry, 6'8".
5'8". I was gonna say 5'8" is not very tall.
5'8", yeah, 5'8" not tall. So he's a good 6'8". He's got
Well, 6'8's very tall.
what for him is a walking stick, but you know that walking stick weighs more than a mace. This is Robar Fathrin. He goes, Cora, how's it going?
Well, different.
So I hear. So I hear.
Yeah, everybody
Moving up in the
seems
world.
to have heard. Well,
I didn't so
I
much
know.
hear as was told. Miss Green and
Yeah,
I have come to an
that's-
arrangement by which you're not going to be doing anything that mix interests between where you're from and where you're going to.
oh, really? She's made that decision?
Well, she
I think that
assumed that
decision
you
is
wouldn't.
mine.
It is yours, but she gave me assurances that she wasn't just going to pay you to go and kill me. I think that's a fair arrangement between the two of us.
Oh, say that again. What?
Miss Green gets her hands dirty. Occasionally, I have to too. Only when some of my people's lives are in danger. But yeah, I get my hands dirty. Bloody sometimes too. You've seen it.
Seems the way of the city.
Exactly. It's a tough place. Gotta be tough to be able to survive it. Look at me. And he kind of gestures to some of the scars over his body made by axe blades and sword blades. This guy's never worn armor a day in his life. And he goes, you gotta be tough. Now I like you, Cora. You play the game here in Freetown. I understand that you need more. I respect that. Everybody's got to go for a little bit more. But we had a chat, Renata and I, and we agreed that I wouldn't try to get to her through you, and she wouldn't try to get to me through you. It means you're less of a pawn as much as anybody can be in this city. It's a mark of respect, you understand.
Yeah, I'd like to not be a pawn. I don't want to cause trouble. I'm not doing this to break away from Freetown. I want to
understand.
help Freetown as much as
I
possible.
understand.
It's kind of why I'm doing it.
No,
Do you know what I mean?
understand. Hey, you found a way of getting the cream. Everybody in Freetown who gets a chance to get the cream goes and gets the cream. Believe you me.
Sure. But I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it to filter some stuff back.
I know.
So
I know.
if I can help, I will help.
I understand. I understand. It's fine. I know you, Cora. I've seen what you've done. I've seen what you've done for other people. I've seen you slip certain coins in certain places, and they're not for you. Yeah? I keep an eye on my people. I'm all about the people. We ain't got no castles here in Freetown. We ain't got no enchantments. We haven't got anything like that. What we've got is people. All of the assets that I have in this little kingdom of mine has 2 legs. Sometimes 4, but I don't really count the horses.
Yeah.
Nay.
Well, you know, we do what we can. So
Indeed. And what coin is given to you is yours to do with as you please. And if you're going to feed it back to Freetown, then bless you, my child. Bless you. You are
Somebody's gotta
what
help
we
it.
need more of in this world.
Hmm.
All I'm saying
Yeah.
is that as much as it doesn't seem like it sometimes, it's not a one-way door. You can come back. We're not going to close any doors on you, kid.
Well, that's good to know.
And if you have to sneak back and go to some of the little hidey holes that I'm hoping you will still keep secret,
Oh, yeah.
or at least,
Although, yeah.
then you can do that too. And I don't
Mhm.
care if Renata is Erathis reborn. You want to come back? You come back. You want to be out of it? You're out of it. That's the end of it. Okay?
Yeah.
Put it there, kid. Yeah, he's a lot bigger
Yeah.
than you. What starts off as a brief handshake turns into a little bit of a backslapping hug from him, and he knows better than to apply even a fraction of his considerable strength. Otherwise, he would have knocked you over. And
Pat, bones broken.
yeah. And he kind of looks you over, gives an approving nod, picks up what is a great cudgel with one hand as if it's made out of paper, and hoofs it onto his shoulder and goes, see you around. Walks around about 4 meters away, and the first person he meets, he's kind of like, hey, Raymond, look, the leg's much better. Hey, we can get you that job down by the... And the conversation goes on, and suddenly he's this hugely enigmatic, positive guy again. Whereas with you, he was a little solemn, a little serious, but not in any way threatening.
Can I just tweak that was on my way in instead of out, because Cora's
Absolutely.
not gonna go out again.
Sure. Let's
I'm-
do that.
Yeah. So because I think I'm gonna gather up what meager things I might have left in the place, but this still feels like home, and I think she wants one more night just grounded here. So I think she's just gonna like curl up on the little like crickety bed and kind of appreciate the
Yep.
hardship of it.
Cool.
So-
I'll get back to you in a little bit then. So, next person is Farewell, and I do apologize. I need to look something up very briefly. I try to
have fallen
memorize
into-
all of my NPCs, but there are quite a few of them.
I have fallen into the glory trap of writing pages upon pages. It seems that equally, what like with Felicia, once you get started, it really doesn't stop.
No.
Nope.
I just wish I shared her talent for art.
Right.
Remember, you're here forever.
Worst part
Feels
is,
like-
once you start drawing one outfit, you will want to decide like that.
The only reason why I haven't fallen into that hole is because I'm so fucking lazy.
Fair.
Right. So,
Oh.
Farewell. You go to your caravan, which is actually in the Dusk Meadow behind the Raven Queen Temple. The Dusk Meadow is just a small place of reflection. Each Raven Queen Temple has them, and it's where people go to remember. Sometimes when you're in the Raven Queen Temple, the presence of the Raven Queen and her followers can be very distracting, and it can be very hard to think about the lost. The Dusk Meadow is a place that can be that is silent. It is actually enchanted as such, so that you can't hear the city from here. It means that you've always been spoilt with perfect silence to sleep in. And there are two caravans there. One belongs to Morris, the gardener who maintains this place, and then the second one is yours. As you walk into the Dusk Meadow, Dusk herself, because that's not confusing at all, Dusk Elmheart, the high priestess of the Raven Queen Temple, walks up to you and says, "So it is done."
You'll forgive me, High Priestess. What is that?
You notice that her eyes, which are normally because she's a kind of bronze-coloured tiefling with black horns. She normally has black eyes. Her eyes are currently milky white, and you know that she's had some form of augury, a vision. And you're kind of guessing that she knows that what has transpired in the last 24 hours. She goes, "So it is done."
It seems so. Not sure what this means, but
The Night Mother does not reveal when her works happen. It is the nature of the work that she does. Sometimes we see it coming up like an old friend, calling the end to a story. Sometimes she steps up, taps you on the shoulder, and says, "Your time is up." This path change will be part of her will.
I hope so. She perhaps I got a little closer to meeting her than I was expecting this. Today has been an experience. I'm
I
worried.
envy you.
I'm very worried.
I envy you.
Uh,
You kept
you-
very close to meeting her, and I should imagine you feel more alive now than ever before.
there was a good 10 or so minutes. Well, I say 10 minutes. It was a good couple of hours, actually. It was really warm. But thank you. You shouldn't have taken me in. I was nobody to you guys, but you did. I'm grateful. Thank
Nobody
you.
is nobody. As brief as we are, nobody is nobody. Even one who steps into this world and finds himself on a ship about to sink, destined to only live but a few hours, is able to take in the world around them, the work of the gods, to feel their soul burning in their chest. Each journey, however small, however short, is but part of the greater path by which we end up washing on the shores of the gods, to be with them in the astral sea.
You
Do not
really
forget
should
this.
start. Sorry.
And she reaches out, and as she reaches out, she kind of goes as if she's trying to grab something invisible near your chest, right in the center. And you kind of wondering what she's doing, and then you go, oh, she's about to, oh, and as she does so, she starts pulling, and a small golden thread of energy comes from your chest into her hand, like a piece of twine that's being pulled taut. And she says, there's your path, one of many. It splits and it weaves and it wefts. Yours will have some time yet. And then she lets it go and it disappears. Most people don't like them doing this, so they don't do it to the common folk.
You are really gonna have to teach me how to do that one day.
When it comes, you'll be able to do it because she tells you. Right. I have work to attend to. 3 of them by the feel of it.
Yes.
If you need any guidance, come back to us. Until then, follow the path and take care of your flock. They're going to rely on you. They will be going into places that taunt you with the Night Mother's door.
Thank you. If you need me, call upon me, and may the matron guide you.
Brother Barebones. And she walks away, as mystic as ever, offering you maybe advice, maybe just mystic mutterings, who knows?
Cryptic. It's like wise guides are always cryptic. They can't be forthright. They're always
Yeah.
cryptic.
Well, at least I'll say
Written
this
into
one.
the
At
code.
least this one's not in haikus. There is a story behind that. I promise you.
Another
Oh,
cleric
boy.
of Ik, the
I
god
can't
of
wait to hear it.
obscurity.
So yeah, he's going to be a little bit unsettled by that, and it's going to affect him sleeping. So whilst he's going to pack and pull stuff together and put stuff in what he can in a trunk, he knows that most of his stuff he doesn't need to bring with him because it's quite safe here. But I think Farewell will probably want to read for a bit before he'll let sleep take him, even if that means he doesn't get like the full 9 hours as he usually enjoys. But he will definitely want to just sit and read and just pull off one of the old books. And if you see inside his caravan, the top shelves are just full of handwritten books.
Okay. Do you go and pick a book at random?
Yeah, He's gonna not necessarily cast guidance, but that sensation he usually uses when he's seeking something. He's that what she said to him. Just put something in his head, and he's gonna hold one hand to his chest, and with his free one, he's just gonna let his fingers just dance across the books until he feels that it's just right to stop.
Okay. You pull out a book that's called Upon My Wings, Prayers for the Dead, written by the dead.
I don't know, I'm laughing because that was very similar to a name of a book that was also about the Raven Queen, but not in that topic of this game.
Oh,
Do you remember, Simon?
I struggle to remember the content that I write sometimes because I'm too busy
No,
writing the next
this
bit.
was in Jenny's game, Simon. It was
Oh,
in
in Jenny's game. Oh, no, I can't remember.
We were in the library and there was like lots of stuff there. We had fun.
Yeah.
Like,
We just finished.
So
We just finished a campaign, by the way, this Tuesday just gone.
I mean Wednesday.
Sorry, Wednesday, yesterday. Sorry, yeah. That was by Jenny, who, if you see any of the links I have on Twitter, is at Took It Home to Jen, and she's a fantastic DM and has really inspired me in terms of attempting new narrative choices and new
nice.
new descriptions and new settings. So yeah, really inspiring. So
Simon has discovered that he can't do imps anymore because all we're gonna be is like it's not as good as Jenny's imps.
Yeah. She does the best imps. She does the best imps. So farewell. You stop flicking through, and a lot of the very mournful poetry, they're written by specters, by ghosts who have visited, and they've provided the last words that they've wanted to say in absolute clarity. And it gets you thinking, what kind of words would you have put together if you could give them just before the point where you thought you were going to die? Or was it just a case of that life was moving so fast that you were too busy living it to ponder on such things? I'm going to switch over to Eclipse. You pay everything up, no problem at all. You end up heading back to the tavern first. Noki says, is everything okay?
Who are you talking to? Me?
Yes. So
Yes.
Noki, who's the tavern keeper.
I was wondering. I didn't catch who you were talking to. It's like, is it me or is it Glory?
Yeah, I said I was going back to Eclipse. So he says, is everything okay, Eclipse? And he picks up a spare box of yours and starts helping you upstairs.
Oh yes, very much so, friend. Just getting a bit my stuff, and I'm very happy with the rooms. You did not have to go so. They're very, very nice and very thought out.
You say that I didn't have to go through such things. There was a very exacting checklist that I had to check off to make sure everything was ready before you attended. So yes, I did. I very much had to. But one thing I will say for Renata, she keeps a standard. She keeps to a very exacting standard. I newly employed myself, if you remember, from when I first.
Out of curiosity, when did you get this order to make the rooms ready?
I got the order at 6:10 this morning.
Oh, that's very fast to get all of this stuff ready. Where did you get all the clothes and bags and everything?
They just turned up. They said what was going to happen and that I had to check everything off to make sure that it was at a correct standard. And there were wizards that turned up, and there were other people that turned up, and there were craftsmen that turned up with things that were there already. And a lot of the things were done very quickly. I mean, the names on the brass plates here, for example, that was a wave of a wand. Those Magi Domestica, they're impressive people. We don't have them where I come from. Magic is not so freely used back home.
That's still very impressive to get all of this done in such a short time.
I guess so. I should imagine there's a number of wizards who are having a lie down and a stiff drink right now because they were throwing that stuff around like it was confetti. I'm telling you, it was a thing to see. As I say, that would be considered wasteful back on the Summer Islands.
Yeah. Still, thank you so very much for letting us stay here.
I was surprised about the specific order of the painting in your room. Did you specifically ask for that?
No. Do I know which painting he's talking about?
No. I mean, there are about. You remember 4 paintings? I mean, there's a lot to take in. There's like 4 paintings in your room.
Not to my knowledge. Which painting are you talking about there?
Oh, come. I'm going to bring in the box anyway. I'll show you. So he goes into your room and sits it down on the bed. And he goes, it was this one here. And sure, you kind of took in that they were paintings, but you didn't pay that much attention. As I said, there was so much to look at. And it seems to be a partially crumbling mouth of a chasm or tunnel, or maybe like an old ruin of a temple. But the temple's front entrance is a large open lion's mouth. So it's this giant stone lion head. The mouth is open. It's slightly crumbling and stuff. One of the teeth is broken in two. And there's a pair of doors that seem to be like in the back of the lion's mouth. He says, yeah, it's specifically commissioned. I don't know. It was on the checklist. All the others, they just said paintings of a certain quality, and they gave a price. And most of them turned up just by me asking one of the local galleries to send stock art. But no, that one there was commissioned.
This, I believe, is what people theorize to be the entrance to a quite famous temple in Naru culture, which is supposed to be around here, which is the temple to... do you know of Jordan at all?
Jordan? No, I have to admit I don't know a great deal about Austron. I'm sorry. I come from the other side of the world, literally.
Jordan is important to this area as he conquered this area many, many centuries ago, and there's very little left of his legacy. But this one temple with something called, which I'm actually, the reason I'm here was something hidden that's called Heart of Jordan. We don't know what it is, but I want to find it, and this is, people believe where it is, I think.
Well, it sounds like a very interesting endeavor. And I guess, when you're going around killing street gangs and other such people, that you need a hobby. Good luck, I guess. As I say, I just found it.
You'll be surprised what information you can gather from just being around.
Yes, well, it's good that you shared your interest with Renata. Apparently, she approves of this study. Anyway, I've got to go back. Got to make sure that the late night meals are going to be served on time. But it was nice speaking to you, Miss Eclipse. And he walks off, and you're just there staring at this temple of something that you haven't told anybody that you're searching for until now.
Well, it hasn't really come up in conversation yet.
Okay.
They're like, oh, by the way, I'm looking for this hidden temple.
You sure that tapestry's not been weaved out at catnip, and that's the reason why she's just started talking about it and rubbing herself against it?
Also, there's nothing I love more than detailed info dump ended with I think.
I think.
Okay.
Yes, I'll just unpack some of my stuff and then I'll go sleep on the bed. And of course, I believe that Tabaxi sleep like cat, so I'm like in a circle on
Yep.
the bed.
Okay.
That's great.
I'll get to you all in a second. So finally, Glory, other than a spirited goodbye by your rather enthusiastic housekeeper, she's one of those plucky ladies who likes to keep a good house and always very busy and a bit of a nervous one. And she says, "Well,
Please don't burn me to death.
it's been lovely having you here, dear." She says in the manner of somebody who it really hasn't been lovely having you here, dear. You and her couldn't be more different. And as much as she's always been absolutely lovely to you, she's so pleased to see you leave.
You are our favourite disaster sorcerer.
Yes.
And she waves a little emphatically as you go down the street with these two workers with this handcart with all of the many travelling cases that you brought from Scalra and hat boxes and all the rest of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Gloria has a lot of trinkets, a lot of dresses, a lot of normal clothes, and a lot of fabric, just like fancy fabrics to hang on the walls.
Yeah. And you were paying above average for the shitty little room that you had, but she doesn't care. She's glad that you're gone. The things that she heard when you were under her roof, especially in the night, she can never unhear. And she's asked the gods to remove those memories as well. You're an interesting person to have around, and she likes boring.
Yeah.
Boring is what she goes for. Yeah. So you end up coming back, and eventually, wherever you're falling asleep, you fall asleep. Now, I've done Aiden's dream. Some of the rest of you process the day. It's been a really dramatic day. And so I've got a few other little bits for you guys.
I was going to say, before we jump into that, sorry, Kieran, you're probably going to say the same thing as mine. Would this be a good time for a break? And then we can come back into the dreams.
Actually, that's a very good idea. Let's do that now. So we'll take 10 minutes break. And
Also,
yeah.
Sorry, I just want to say this very quickly before we go into break. I'm calling it right now. We're gonna pull a Super Mario 64 with the paintings inside Eclipse's room.
Yes. Yes.
Don't give away DM plot hooks. You've just ruined his grand reveal. He's now gonna have to rewrite the whole fucking campaign because
I have no
10 minutes
idea
of me
what that
crying
is,
and
so
going,
I'm
I've
oblivious.
got to come up with something different. They called it. I'm so obvious. We will have a 10-minute bio break, which largely involves me making coffee and eating cheese. But anyway, behind the scenes.
I'll be back.
And we will see you guys.
Everybody say hi to Cactus. He's another lovely guy before we go to break.
Hello, Cactus.
Hi, Cactus.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Yes,
we will be
3
right
minutes.
back.
2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. So, we were just about to go to sleep because, that's dramatic. And you guys
It
all
is.
have a really good night's rest. But as with Aiden, who has already had his first part of his sleep, if I know Aiden, he's probably going to go back and have some more. There's some nod there. The rest of you also have some either dreams or recollections. Dreams are funny like that. And I'm going to start off with Eclipse. You haven't had as much screen time as everybody else yet, so let's have a bit for you. You cast your mind back to when you were little more than a kitten, and yes, baby tabaxis are called kittens, to a time when you believe was your current making. You were walking through the Hortanasha, a giant Aztec-style step pyramid in the heart of Naru territory, a museum and vault for the Tabaxi Naru. Here all the treasures of your people are kept and stored, items from the travels of the Naru who, for the rest of the players, because Corinne will know this, but I don't know if I've made it clear, the Tabaxi Naru culturally have some wanderlust. They love to travel. They get itchy feet. And they're very much a there and back again kind of race within Austron society. Austron is kind of a national race, and the Naru are part of that, but they are themselves like a micronation within a nation. Here the treasures of your people are, and the items, as I say, are from the travels of the Naru as they explore the globe, from expensive gems and artifacts to pieces of art, original works of writing, and items of arcane and divine power. They're all held within this monument. You're walking through with your Nacha, grandfather, a man as well-travelled as any Naru. He's speaking feverishly about lost cultures, forbidden secrets, and as much as the stuff as he has to say is interesting, you're distracted. There's so many shiny things around you right now, and your imagination is running away with you at the sight of the hoard that's just all around you. You go through this for some time, and then suddenly a guard falls forward on the floor unconscious. Ka-chunk! And then another. Ka-chunk! They were the only two in this chamber. And an exotically dressed black and white striped tabaxi bursts from an alcove and kind of skitters, partially on 2 feet, partially on 4, just for the extra speed and extra grip, because they do a bit of parkour. So it's less kind of a cat thing, more of a parkour thing. Up to a dais. On it is a strange style keystone that you would normally see on the top of a stone arch. And it's no bigger than, I would say, a slightly large dinner plate. Excuse me a sec. I just need to sort something out with Discord just for a quick second. Can you guys still hear me?
Yep.
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 Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Discord's just updating a sec. It's no bigger than a large serving plate. The tabaxi picks it up and rubs their face against it lovingly and throws it into a bag, along with several nearby treasures. Just a few kind of odds and sods that were near the keystone, but you can tell the keystone was what they were going for. A guard runs in and shouts, "Here they are!" And the tabaxi leaps onto the guard, clearing like 70 foot in a single leap, pounces on the guard, and a strange wave of energy comes from the palm of their hand, and the guard is out cold. They run towards you, and your Nacha, again a well-travelled man, steps back with a flourish, saying, "Safe travels, my friend." He says it in the Naru tongue. The tabaxi that's just performed the theft in front of your eyes bows deep to both of you and looks you straight in the eye. They throw a coin, which you catch. They throw it kind of cooperatively. And you catch it. And on the face of it is a lion-headed tabaxi. And in your tongue, around the edges, are the words Jordan the Indomitable.
Yeah.
A tabaxi looks at you, and there's a veil covering the bottom half of the face. It looks straight at you and says, "Remember, we were once more, and you could be too." You shift in this incredibly comfortable bed, and you wake up and look at your hand and open it up, and the coin is still there. The coin that you clutch every night as you sleep. Okay? Just a little
Yeah.
bit of portent for you. Glory. Your dreams kind of are part recollection and part, what would you call it? I guess you're trying to figure things out. You see, first of all, you in this gigantic hall back in Skullra. There are long feasting tables, very Harry Potterish in that kind of sense. Long benches, and then as you get closer to the raised kind of platform at the front, this kind of podium at the front, there are some larger chairs and slightly different shaped tables as people who are honored but not honored enough to be up on the podium are eating, drinking, and excess is what we're talking about here. Something that you're very accustomed to. More food than the people who can, the people present can eat. More drink than any of them could properly withstand in their cups. And all manner of decorations and embellishments, and there's red wine being spilt on dresses that are worth like 700 gold. No one's caring. No one even notices in this environment. You yourself remember, although you were quite young back then, you yourself remember just being completely adorned in silks that just fall over your body. And one of these things that you're just kind of, as you hold it, it just looks like this, rippling single length of silk, but somehow when you drop it onto your body, it immediately looks like the best thing ever. Almost like it's enchanted. It might be. You don't know. Who cares? You know it's the best. Sitting on the podium at the far end, amongst many other dignitaries, are two figures. The first is Rainier. Okay. Shifting from the full dragon form into a figure dressed all in black. I'm going to ask you, because this is part of your character background generation, what type of figure does Rainier look like when they take a humanoid form?
Not old, but like 50-ish man, black, but maybe a little graying hair. Clearly not human, but not any specific race.
Okay.
Just inhumane, but a majestic dragon way.
Okay.
He keeps his horns while still looking humanoid.
Okay. No, that's cool. I will try to remember that, and if not, I'll know which episode to look up to find it in future. And sitting next to him is Zarion. Zarion is the elder dragon, the elder black dragon of Skullra. So represents the black dragon flight in the Scouran Convocation of Dragons. One of the co-rulers of this entire country. And this is the second time you'd seen him come to one of Frenia's events. And this is on the anniversary of the death of a mighty dragon.
Ah.
And you see Zerion there, and he is a gaunt, bold man, human, pale skin, almost looking almost vampire or undead, black eyes. His eyes are just black orbs, inky black orbs, and he wears a simple black robe that looks high quality but is completely unadorned. It's just black, and he wears a strange, almost like a pharaoh style black headpiece, making him look a little bit like a priest of some denomination. You know that Zerion is a card-carrying follower of Tiamat. Not all of the chromatic rulers of Skalra are. They will pay lip service to the Queen of Dragons, who currently resides in the Hells. But he is very much a card-carrying servant of her. He's not a cleric of hers, though. He's a scholar. All about knowledge, power, forbidden secrets, things of that kind. And you know that very recently, before this event, he had managed to hunt down and decimate a cult of Vecna that had settled in Skalra. And apparently he still has some of the worshippers of Vecna in the vaults of his university. He has a university instead of a castle. And in the vaults of his university, he's tearing their minds apart, trying to get them to part with secrets that have been whispered into their ears and minds by the god of secrets. And so he's in rather a chipper mood, in that he's not suggesting that certain people in the room get killed. And he stands up and says, "You have our approval. Excel in your roles. Bring me your most talented. Bring me anything that is above your station. Any knowledge, any powerful artifact, any unanswered question. Give to my servants, and they shall bring it to my lair, where your betters shall do what is right. We approve of Frenia, and this city, this district, meets our approval." There's a general polite round of applause, and he nods his head curtly and says, "Feast and take that which is earned." He snaps his fingers, and servants dressed very much the same as him, except without the hat. So some of them have got like kind of soft, almost like professors' caps, what professors wear in the UK at ceremonies. And again, jet black robes, as unadorned as his. They come in with these bags and pour out onto the table platinum pieces, gold pieces, nothing less than nothing, no silver, no copper, nothing like that. It's only gold and platinum, and they're just scattering them over the tables. They are going in the food, in the wine, and people don't care. And the interesting thing about it all is they're not picking up the coins. They're just leaving them. It's seen almost distasteful to go and pick those up. They will eventually. They'll find their way into pockets and folds of robes and other places, boots and so forth. But no one visibly tries grabbing for it, because that would not be of our standard. You watch as certain dignitaries, cousins, uncles of yours, all tieflings like you, all with the Tezcatlipoca name, are honoured by Zerion just looking at them before he leaves. That's all they get, just a look. He has seen them. And he steps away. The last you heard from Skalra was of a ambassadorial detachment going to Meridia because apparently 3 black dragon eggs had been found in Meridia, and they were going to claim them back for the Black Dragon flight. Such things should not be just simply left in lesser countries, and they should be brought to the seat of dragons. Okay.
But I guess if you're wondering, that's the Tuesday campaign. Like,
Yeah,
found that.
It's a crossover. That's the crossover with the Tuesday campaign. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. There's something wrong with those black dragon eggs, but you don't know that. So. Anyway, staying on this campaign, that's you, Glory. Just a reminder of who you are. Just as this Renata Green upstart is trying to get a Tezcatlipoca to dance to her tune. Just a reminder from your family, from your upbringing, from the depths of your mind, that you are to be yourself and that nobody controls you. Mm-hmm. Okay. Cora.
Oh, thank God.
That was like, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it.
I don't want it.
Just let my poor boy sleep.
It's just a memory, it's fine.
It could be that I'm leaving the most impactful one till last. Let's do Cora, though. Your dreams throw you back into your memories of the day. You're bent over your best friend, holding in that which gives him life. Panic and sorrow wash over you, but suddenly something burns through. Anger, rage, directed at Farewell's would-be killer. Was that there before? You can't remember. It went by so fast. You look up and fire burns behind your eyes. The spare hand, the one that isn't plugging his wound, now flares with a blinding light as a power unlike that which you've ever felt before pours from your soul and into your outstretched palm. A voice appears in your head. Yes, play the music. Now you own the dance. Did you feel it? For a moment? For a second? That's all it takes. It doesn't take long to own you. The only answer is to own it. Look at him, and gestures down at Farewell. Your gentle stream. They tried to take him like they took your love. I know it still hurts. Don't lie to me. You can't, you know. Embrace it. No trinket she can give will compare to what I have given you. You feel an impossible heat at your back, but you daren't turn around. A hand, searing hot, grabs yours and pulls it out of Farewell's body. His body bursts with water, which then turns to steam in the air as you cry out and reach for him with your free hand. The figure pulls you around faster circles. Farewell disappears, and other figures replace him, whirling around you too fast to take note of, always staying out of focus. They laugh and cheer, and suddenly you're let go. You plummet and spin as your world becomes a spiraling maelstrom. You curl up into a ball, and a sharp pain lances through your body. You awaken to find yourself on the floor, and Awen looking down at you from the dresser, strangely looking cross and concerned at the same time. She says to you, "I'm sorry. She shouldn't have done that."
I don't even know what that meant. What was that?
Excuse me?
Oh fuck!
Why do you look cross?
I can't tell you.
Is that the future? Am I gonna lose him like I did her?
No, you were looking at what happened today, but also not what happened today. It's kind of strange. I don't know what I can tell you and what I can't.
Strange, man.
I guess I'll feel pain if I tell you something I can't, or if I try to.
Oh, then
She's
don't.
she's feeling you. There was a part of you that called out to her.
Is she ever gonna reveal herself?
Well, she revealed something about herself. I wasn't even allowed to say her before. Apparently, this Gaius allows me to say things that you already know. I didn't even know that happened. But hey, we've got a good bedroom now. That's good, right?
Yeah. You can. I mean, I'm gonna stay in this one tonight, but I guess we've got a new one.
She walks up to the music box, and bear in mind the music box is quite big compared to her. She suddenly lifts it up as if it's a sarcophagus or something, and you hear this da 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 da, and the music starts to play, and it's very much a kind of fast, slightly slow, fast, slightly slow. It's got the suggestion of the dance in the music. The writing in the lid of the box has changed, and it says the dance begins. Are you going to listen to the full song and get the benefit?
Sure. Although I think I probably need to talk to you about it because it looks like it doesn't benefit me. Like I'm reading it wrong clearly. Because it looks like it just leaves me exhausted but doesn't give me a good benefit. Am I reading that wrong?
I'll explain later.
Yeah. But sure, I think I will listen to it. RP wise, she's opened it up and I'm reading it. I will listen to it. Yeah, definitely.
Right, noted.
Is it like the middle of the night right now?
Yeah,
Or is it-
it's about 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
You've
I think
had
I will be listening to it, hoping for answers almost from the music.
you fall asleep to the music, but you get the benefit, and I will clarify what it does.
Cool.
Okay. And finally, farewell.
Shit.
Oh no.
You'll be fine.
You go from the softest, most wonderful bed. Wow. You didn't even know these things could exist. To cobblestones. And you look down at the gash in your chest. Cora's gone. The bodies are gone. Everyone else who was there at that time is gone. You're lying in the street where you were before. It's neither day nor night. The sun isn't overhead. There's no light, no shadows. And you stand up with a mortal wound gaping in your body. But apparently not bleeding, not getting worse. You just are.
Oh, that's new. Does it hurt if I touch it? I'm assuming I can do things and like.
You put your hand inside your own body, and it's freaky, but it doesn't hurt.
That's okay.
In fact,
Cora?
with your medicine check, I'm not going to get you to roll, but just with a straight check, you poke one of the blood vessels, and well, for you, blood is just a water duct going through your body, and the water just stays there as if frozen in time. Wobbles a bit.
Cora? Eclipse? Aiden?
Yes.
I couldn't
Aiden
remember your
is
character
waiting
name.
for
I
Rodrigo.
could not remember. I'm sorry, dude. I couldn't remember your character name.
That's
that
okay. I've
minute.
had to correct many tweets where I keep calling Rodrigo Aiden.
Glory.
It's Aiden. It's
Aiden.
Aiden.
Sorry,
Aiden.
Yeah,
Aiden.
sorry,
Aiden.
We just
I
read
grew
it
up with an
Aiden.
Aiden, so yeah.
Yeah, I would read it Aiden, but Aiden.
Guys, he's just going to keep yelling that and just darting around.
Yep. So you're staying in the area, though, yeah?
He's gonna begin to wonder after a few moments. If nothing's coming of that, panic will start to set in, and he will definitely start moving.
Okay. You get about 2 streets, and you see something that's different, other than the strange light levels that's going on here. You do see that pouring out of a window on the first floor of a house is what seems to be a nebulous black, not quite smoke, not like a black energy or a black flame either, but elements of them all. The closest that you can think of is maybe thousands upon thousands upon thousands of tiny insects kind of buzzing out of the room, but you know they're not insects either. More kind of little motes, little black motes just flying out of the window into the air, dispersing until they're suddenly so small that they are kind of almost diluted and clear. And they're just funneling out. You do see down the street that there's another one. I say down the street, it's probably like 30 or so houses down. That a smaller stream is pouring out.
Are they pouring towards me, or are they just pouring out and then fading away?
Pouring out and fading away.
I'm gonna move closer.
Okay.
I don't know why. He'll just start walking forward.
Okay. You get up to the house. What are you going to do?
Is there a door?
There is a door.
All right, we're going inside.
As you reach out to the handle, your hand passes through the door.
Please be a dream. Please be a dream. Please be a dream. Please be a dream. And I'm gonna push through and carry on.
Yeah, you walk straight through the door, no problem. The house, on the bottom floor at least, seems to be empty.
Do I recognize the house? Is this somewhere I've been before?
It seems to be a regular Ostergald house.
Okay, yeah. Was it the second floor or just the bottom floor window that this was coming out of? Would I seen or?
It was the first floor, which is the second floor if you're in Sweden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I understand things.
Okay, we're gonna go upstairs then.
You walk upstairs and lying on the bed is the first figure you've seen since this started. What you see is a old woman, dressed in fairly, I'd say, well-to-do worker clothes. She's lying on the bed, and she is kind of, her back is arched, and she's kind of just hovering a few inches above the bed. This black energy is flying out of her body, out of the window, and her eyes are bright beams of white light hitting the wall behind her. And yeah, you gonna do anything or just watch for a sec or what?
He's gonna watch from a mouth agape. I don't think he's ever in his experience seen something quite as fascinating and terrifying as what's before him.
Okay. Roll me either a perception check or a medicine check, because hey, checks are good. We haven't done
We're gonna
Yeah.
go for perception because perception's a good skill for him.
that.
Oh, that's not very good. 17.
17, yeah, that's fine. You do notice there is an effect that this energy leaving her body seems to be having, and that is that she seems to be, at first you think she's healing, but then you realize she's not healing. She's aging backwards.
Hello. Can you hear me?
The eyes,
Am I dreaming?
the head turns to you, still thrown back at mouth agape in what seems to be what would be throes of agony, I guess, but you don't think it's agony. You think it's just intensity. And they look at you, the blinding light, you kind of, whoa, for a second there, and you get used to it, and they're just watching you. And you get a feeling that this person isn't in distress, but they're washing over you. And their attention is washing over you. It seems to be all around you. They seem to be all around you, their consciousness. And you watch just for a little longer as she, I was about to say ages, it's not ages, is it? Youthens. And gets younger and younger and younger. And she hits around about 27, I would say. Late 20s, certainly. And at that point, the black energy just goes, and the last of it just goes off into the air. And she hits the bed.
I would have rushed
bouncing
forward
on
as she
springs.
hits down,
And
just as an impulse, just run forward.
yep, her eyes are no longer beams of bright light, but a bright aura is evident around her body. As you go to touch her, you notice that you nearly fall over because you go to steady yourself to put a hand on the bed, and your hand nearly goes through the bed, but then you touch her, and she is physical. She's real. She sits up and goes, oh, 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 oh. Are you an angel?
No. They don't make angels like me. I don't think.
Well, I didn't want to assume. Marie. My name is Marie. Yours?
Farewell. Did you call me here? Am I?
I don't know. I was a little scared toward the end. I didn't know if the gods would accept me. But yeah,
What?
Well, I'd had my last rites, and I'd always been good in the eyes of the gods. But you know how well. I don't know if you know how it is. I don't even know if you're alive. Do angels die? I'm not sure. But I was calling out to Pelor at the time, and I said, you know, I always kept the light in my heart for even those that I was to hate, and I always forgive, and I always took light into the dark places, like the preacher said, like the priest said. I said, Paolo, just please take me, and now I'm here, and oh, can you feel that? I feel like I need to walk somewhere. Will you walk with me, Angel?
Sure. And perhaps you can tell me which priest told you to bring the light into the dark places. Do you remember?
That was Ariel Kine. She's a very good priestess of Pelor. I've been a follower of hers. Well, a follower of Pelor through her for most of my life. She's a very lovely person. I'm getting a little old now, although I was one to talk. I was 20 years
Sorry,
older than
Simon.
her.
Did you say Klein?
Ariel.
Last name.
Ariel is the first name, and Kine, Kyn, is the surname.
Okay, so not the same surname as the other brothers.
The same surname as Aros. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same,
Okay. Yeah.
same
okay.
family.
Yeah, same family. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. Their family big in the Palor world.
Yeah.
So she says, yes, it was her that helped me stay in the light of Pelor, even in my darkest moments, even through selfishness and jealousy and envy. I let it go and stepped into the light and kept myself there and kept my heart in the light.
You come. Let's walk.
Okay, Angel. I noticed that you're a servant of the Raven Queen. Are you to take me to where I'm to go next?
I don't know, to be honest.
She looks at you, trying not to be condescending, but she looks at you and goes, "Are you new?" It's okay.
I just hope I haven't gone in my sleep like you did. There's a lot of things that I still needed to do, and perhaps, yes, this is my first day. Maybe we can find out what we're supposed to do together.
Okay. Well, I know where I need to go, so let's go. And she skips almost down the stairs, occasionally running her hands over her legs, funnily enough. The way that she's skipping, you have a feeling that maybe she didn't walk very well late in life. And the fact that she can now and is suddenly kind of like, I have legs again, legs that work, just a moment of joy for her. She steps down to the front door, and where your hand passed through it, she flings the door open and takes a deep breath, steps out into the street, and she, as I say, where you were walking around, everything was, as I say, neither night nor day. And when she steps out, she puts her head back and her arms out, and she goes, "Isn't that glorious? Isn't that wonderful?"
Yes.
And she's looking up at the sky and she says, "That's where I need to go next." And she points up at a spot in the sky that just means nothing to you.
Well, every journey starts with a step.
I guess so.
Go on.
And she kind of almost kicks off Peter Pan, you can fly style, and just steps off the ground. And as she does so, she starts to float up higher and higher, and the higher that she gets, the less humanoid she becomes. And suddenly she's replaced just by a vaguely humanoid being of light that gets less and less humanoid as it goes up into the sky. You see, for a very short period of time, a corona of golden light, and she's gone.
I'm gonna take out my the book that I have on my leg, and I'm just gonna look at it and go, "What are you trying to tell me?" What do you want to show me? You've brought me here for a reason.
You brought yourself here. You turn around and there's a giant angel, grey-skinned, black eyes, wings white, but with like an ashy deposit on the wings. You followed the path. You came to her door. Now it is time to go back. But you were here, and so you see.
Do I know you?
In a manner of speaking.
I'm not supposed to be here yet, though, am I? I've got a little bit of time.
It is not your time to walk through the gate, but you've stepped with the mother for so long, walked along by her side, that your brush at her door meant that you connected with this place briefly. I'm Raziel.
I'm not going to do Raziel. Well, I wish I could say it was a pleasure, but I'll be honest with you. I was hoping to be a little more grey than I already am before we saw each other.
I'm not the angel of death.
But you are one of them.
I am of the Legion. I step between the two worlds and this place, which is the transition between the two worlds.
Then, can I ask a question?
Of course, you're a faithful servant.
Has Elijah passed through here? Sorry, Simon, I think I've completely lagged out, and if you said anything, then I
No,
lost
he
it
hasn't said
entirely.
I haven't.
He hasn't said anything.
Dramatic pause.
Yes.
That ellipsis.
Everything froze, and I was like,
It's
Christ
okay.
alive, if I missed that moment.
No, sorry. It's the type of dramatic pause that works a lot better around a real table.
Yeah.
He looks up, waits for an uncomfortable amount of time, as you saw by, I apologize, and he says, he has not yet stepped through the gate.
Thank you.
Whatever that means.
My role is to take those who are a mockery of life and bring them to rest. He pulls a giant sword.
Fair
And
flex,
you see-
but okay.
You see that the blade only half exists. It's like a ghost blade. Through me, some of your powers to turn the undead, to dismiss them, to dispel them, and momentarily to create them. That is what I hold. There's
Then
a person that you recently came into contact with. I believe his name is Aiden.
Oh fuck.
Yes. It's true.
I watched his family
He's
for many
not-
years.
You did?
I did. They performed my work without even knowing it. They had my blessing without even knowing it. But what befell them, I could not prevent. I ask you to take trust in the lad. Aid him. He has
I will.
a difficult journey ahead, assuming that he makes it to the first step.
I've seen the boy fight. He will make it.
Do not be discouraged by his apparent demeanor. He has deeper passions for the good and the right and the godly that he has no idea that he has currently. He's his son's father. His father's son. And he is every part a member of the Canelm family. And when he needs it, he shall have my blessing fully. But until then, he must walk the path, as do we all. Do you have any questions of me? Farewell, Barebones.
Many. Far too little time.
Indeed. This is but a moment. Your heart is in the fraction of a beat right now.
I don't even know where to begin. And I'm worried the longer I'm here with you, the less time I'm in my own body. And
You're
the
in your
harder
body
it
right
might
now.
be to go.
You're in no danger here. You are in the world between times.
Okay. That is new.
For you.
Grandpa did not talk about this.
Only a few members of your family have ever been here.
But we've been here? Do you know? What can you tell
several
me everything.
I cannot tell you everything. You have to walk your path and I have to walk mine. I'm telling you what I can. And I'm telling you that for the journey that you have ahead and the answers that you have ahead, I shall be by your side, as will the Night Mother herself. He reaches out a hand, and a spirit comes up from the cobbles themselves, a ghost spectre, and coalesces into a skeleton. Do not be afraid, when your power grows enough to do so, of animating the dead. You are of the faith. When you call a soul, a legion, a soul from the legion of, a legionnaire from the legion of the Raven Queen herself will step into any dead flesh and fight on your side. You will not be tearing anyone unwillingly from the other side. You will not be twisting them. What is called distastefully necromancy by those who practice it is not what you practice, even though they look similar. Do not be afraid to call on the legions of the Raven Queen. You are going to be going to some dark places.
At least I've got some warning this time.
Indeed. And now I think
I'd like to go back to my body now. I would very much like to wake up.
I have a feeling that you're going to. He puts his hand on your chest, and at that point, this horrible, horrible pain as you feel your heart beat almost for the first time in hours. And with that, you wake up.
Oh boy.
At that point, you hear thump as you hear Cora falling off her bed next door.
Fair.
Wait. I'm not asleep in the caravan?
No, remember, we're not actually asleep in the tavern. I'm in my old hovel, and he's in the caravan.
Or have we woken up in the inn?
Yeah, you have.
Oh.
Everybody has woken up in the inn.
Oh.
I don't like this at all.
But-
Cora would have acted very differently, actually. I think if she'd realised this.
I'm going to scoop my butt up against the wall. There is, probably for the first time in a long time for him, wide-eyed panic. This is not where he went to sleep. This is not how he left things. And he doesn't like waking up in places he shouldn't have been.
Is Farrell's all his stuff there?
That's a good question. Do I have my things?
You have a selection of your things. The book, what do they call it? On My Wings or By My Wings or whatever.
Yeah.
Upon
my wings. Upon my
my
wings,
wings. Upon my wings, prayers of the dead by the dead.
Yes. I said it was prayers by the for the dead by the. It's actually prayers for the dead by the departed. But yes, the book is there. Your clothes, which you put by the side of the bed, are there. The rest of your stuff is in the caravan.
Oops.
Shit happened.
I feel like Cora, when she woke up and this all happened, then with the music box, she sat back to the door with the music box, just looking at the room, and potentially fell asleep, but maybe not, because I think she'd be freaking out too, and feeling incredibly manipulated.
This is the thing, Cora. You were, when you fell off the bed, you were in your room. You weren't in the tavern. You are now.
I am now. Am I in the fluffy bed?
Yeah. You kind of fell asleep listening to the music box.
Yeah.
Now you're in the
and
tavern.
Again, is my stuff here?
A selection. You haven't got a great deal, so most of your stuff actually.
Okay, I am getting up kind of rapidly, and I am going to run to Farewell's door and bang on it and see if he is there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Perception check. What's the passive perception of the remaining players? Anyone who has a passive perception above 16 can wake up.
Fuck.
18.
What do you mean with passive perception?
Farewell gets up anyway because his door's being knocked on.
Mm-hmm.
Passive perception, Felicia. It's your
10 plus your
plus-
proficiency. 10 plus your
Perception.
Yeah.
perception.
So if you're proficient with perception, then yeah, it adds your proficiency.
Okay.
12.
13.
13.
Mine is 12, so what I imagine is even with this happening, Aiden is just sleeping like a rock.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eclipse is sleeping like a cat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, trippy dreams.
Purring while
Yeah.
sleeping. Purring while sleeping because, yeah.
Of course, of course.
Cat.
Instead of snoring, it's purring.
Oh, that's so
Okay,
cute.
it looks like it's just Farewell waking up because for you it is your door. You're on the other side of it. So Farewell, yeah. So you heard someone fall on the floor, and then a little time later, Cora knocks on your door, or someone knocks on your door.
Well, I'm going to fling that door open, mace in hand, getting ready to bash whoever's just opening that door's fucking face in. I'm gonna hold it. It's gonna be. I would think he's trained enough, even as scared. But you can make me roll if you want to, as to know whether or not I'm actually gonna have the self-control not to just swing.
Cora, has Farewell ever met Awen?
Yes, in fact, yes, because
Yes.
he's seen the box in Eowyn.
Okay.
When like a year ago, at least.
Awen makes herself visible, gets up in Farewell's face, and goes, "No, you don't, Mister."
Not now, Awen.
It's me.
Put down that thing. You could have someone's eye out or something.
It's okay for Eowyn. Awen, do you know? Can I come in?
Yeah, in.
I shut the door. What the hell?
I don't know. And he's going to be a little bit panicked, so he's going to cast. No, he's not going to cast anything for the moment. I don't think he's got enough in his body to just even consider being able to cast anything. But he is going to sort of move as far away from the door as he can, as he's just unsettled. He's very shaken.
I don't officially know you didn't come back here, so I guess because we both split up. But like
That
I
is
didn't go to
true.
bed here, and I woke up here.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't sleep here. I fell asleep in my caravan, and now I'm here. And if this woman is fucking moving me in my sleep, then we're gonna. Magic
Well,
should not be used to fuck with people.
Yeah.
Not in this
I
way.
agree. Awen, do you know? Did you see anything? Were you around? What did you see?
I felt the person target you.
And it was magic. They didn't pick us up. They just beamed us here.
From what I can tell, an arcane teleportation spell.
Okay.
I tried to disturb it,
turn
but I
around
couldn't.
and march out the door. I'm heading downstairs.
Sure. Okay.
I'm gonna grab my shield.
With her best 3'1".
I'm
draw
gonna grab
myself
my
up to my full
shield.
3 foot.
Yeah.
I've got a shield. I've got my mace. As I'm when we pass, do we pass anybody else's door?
I'm grabbing my stuff.
Are you guys
including the
gonna
health
wake any of
potions.
us up, by the way?
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I'm asking. I don't know in the order whose doors we go past.
I wasn't, as much as I tend to be very kind of pernickety on detail, I didn't say which order your doors were in.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I think I need an intervention. If I ever do that, I need an intervention. Yeah.
Fine. For the sake of speedy narrative, I think whoever's door I first come across, the knock on it won't be so much of a knock, but it will be mace to door, and then he's following after because there's a 3'1" halfling that's looking, he thinks, for a fight, and he's more concerned with that than waking people up. So there is going to be an almighty thud on one of the doors, and you're welcome to pick whosever door that is.
If you want to roll.
What would you like me to roll?
No, I just rolled a d6. It's Aiden's door.
Oh, of course it is.
The guy is sleeping his best life.
The 22-hour-a-day man.
I hear the thud, and I just shoot out of the bed. I just go, "What the? What? Fuck! I just drag myself out of the fucking bed.
Best night's sleep you've had in months. Months, disturbed by someone battering your door like you're in a dorm.
Oh, fuck. Oh, I drag myself off the bed, the door, and I see Farewell, and I see, what the fuck do you want?
Well, they're actually retreating. So you open the door, and Farewell and Cora are like 5 meters down the hall, opening the private door.
Armed to the teeth. Well, at least for Farewell, he's weapons drawn.
I have gone. I go straight from out back into my room, grab all of my stuff that I know is there, like all of my usual stuff, but with that pouch. I think I even slept in that pouch, to be honest. That pouch is not leaving me now that I've got it. And grabbing everything that is mine, and I'm marching downstairs.
Why?
I want to find the owner or
I-
someone or Olivia or something.
Okay.
Just go.
Oh.
I just follow them. I don't even grab anything. I just fucking follow them.
Does anyone wake me and Glory up, or we keep?
We're
The bang on the
sleeping.
door, Simon. Did we hear that?
What's
The
your
mace on the door.
what's your passive perceptions?
12 and
13.
13.
No, you didn't hear it at all. You're fast asleep. So
Yeah.
Cora,
Get through
you're at
that.
the front. Cora's at the front with Farewell and potentially Aiden following behind. The first person you meet who's got the kind of serving uniform on is one of the night maids, a wood elf called, who turns around and says, "Can I help you, miss?"
Where would I find Renita Green?
Oh,
Renita!
Nada.
She looks at you with a certain amount of
I'll do
terror.
it in a proper accent at some point.
She looks at you with a certain amount of terror and says, I guess her house. She's not here. She owns the place, but she doesn't come here. I guess you'd probably have to ask Noki.
We'll do. Keep walking.
Was that you wanted to speak to Noki, or you're just gonna keep?
I've kept walking, looking for Noki. Yeah.
Sorry.
Anybody who is in charge here.
She dashes off, terrified, being that you are considered to be kind of
My
The-
hair has gone bright red.
the kind of management here as
Oh,
well.
Okay.
She dashes off down the
this.
corridor.
I continue
end up
following you because fuck.
Choosing.
Oh,
I mean, Glory's like,
Sorry, guys. I don't think Cora has any mind to wake anyone up. She
That's
doesn't
fine.
know
That's
that
fine.
You guys.
It is what it is.
Actually, hold on, Simon. At that moment where, like, seeing her hair go bright red and just like that tone of voice, that can only mean one thing. So I am going to use thaumaturgy. I'm going to make my voice 3 times louder than it normally is.
God, why?
And I'm going to yell at the very top of my voice, and I won't yell because there's people sleeping in the house, but it will be,
Oh yeah, just
I want to speak to somebody. Somebody better get their fucking ass out of here now, or I'm going to smash their fucking teeth in.
I catch up to them. I just grab
That was the one you told me to say, right?
I grab Farewell by the shoulder, and I literally like eyes have squinted, just go, what, why?
Okay, so
Short version.
let me break this down. You've just used thaumaturgy and shouted at triple volume
Yeah.
at night in
Oh,
a
is it
tavern.
still night?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's about
Morning.
4 in the
I thought we
morning.
wake up, but
Yeah.
You said we woke up here.
Yeah, because you fell out of bed.
You fell out of bed and went straight over to
You
him. I told
said-
you it was 4 o'clock.
You said it was 4 o'clock, and I fell out of bed in the other place. Then I went to sleep with the music box, and I woke up here.
Yeah.
So I assumed it's like 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning.
No, it's probably about 5 in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah,
It's
it's
fine.
fancy. Everyone gets up at that time.
Why? Why?
Too real.
Why-
Too
why-
real, Cora. Too real.
Short version. Aiden, we didn't sleep here last night. We woke up here. I had things in my hands.
And does that
Creepy
warrant you
dreams.
waking me up at fucking 5 a.m.?
This is not what you should be upset about.
Question: do we wake
We-
up when
we-
he screams he wants to
Oh,
talk
absolutely,
to the
absolutely. You know, both
It's,
Eclipse and Glory are
You
wide
are-
awake. You hear what is effectively a megaphone come through the wall with Farewell's voice, and so does
I just
every
said-
other person sleeping in the tavern, and everyone
I
downstairs
just, like,
having a
burst-
meal.
I burst out through the door, like find the other people, and go, "What's wrong?"
As you
say-
do that, so do a host of other people. A dwarf comes out of the nearest door to Farewell and goes, "Oh yeah, you're going to be smashing my face in, is it? So what is it about then?" And there's a wizard going, "I'm sorry, have I caused offence or something? I'm terribly sorry." And a woman who's dressed in all
Time
leathers pulls out a dagger and goes, "You found me. Fine, let's do this." As adventurers who have been having their long rests all get disturbed, come out, and everyone thinks that you are their nemesis that they've been either chasing down, escaping, or trying to find.
Oh God, I can't remember what you said now. I'm gonna have to listen again. I'm like, what did you shout? It's amazing.
It's like, I want to speak to somebody or I'm going to smash their damn faces in, and all they heard is smash your damn faces in, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to have some of that then, come on then." So you're surrounded by just a gaggle of people coming out from every way. There's cacophony and stuff. I'm going to get to you in a second, Rodrigo. As all these people are there, and they're kind of trying to react to this, but they're not quite sure, because bear in mind, as they come out to do this, the only one that seems to have got who it was who was talking was the dwarf. Everybody else is coming out and looking at everyone else going, "Was it you?" So the girl who's pulled, the girl in the leathers, who's another wood elf actually, she comes out with the daggers, and she's looking at somebody else who came out fraction of a second before she opened her door, and so she's like, "Ah, is it you? Yeah, let's do this." And then, as I say, you've got the wizard apologizing to a druid who's there going, "Who the hell are you, dude? I've been walking through the forests for the last 2 weeks. I'm pissed. I was just sleeping it off." Kind of thing, and they're just all talking to each other, total confusion at the moment, and standing in his pajamas at the end of the corridor, walking towards you, is Noki going, "Can I help you?"
I wanted to say.
Go on, Ed.
I say to my before all this happens.
Sure.
I wanted to say to myself, I don't fucking care who listens. I just say, "God shit in my meal yet again."
Don't. No. Just, and this is like completely a Rodrigo. He's going to turn to the dwarf and go, "I'll be with you in a moment." No. Just no.
Who is he pointing at?
Rodrigo at the moment. Sorry, Aiden at the moment. It's no. You need to no.
I just fucking leave him.
And then he'll go back to the dwarf, because the dwarf was like, "Oh yeah, are you in charge here?"
No. Who are you? And why'd you wake me up?
Oh, I'm Farewell. Pleased to meet you.
Baruch fucking Blackforge, it's not a pleasure to meet you. He's got this huge gash across his stomach. This wiry black beard, long oily black hair that's kind of back into like a ponytail that's got pulled to one side because he clearly didn't take it out, and he's just been lying on the pillow and the ponytail's been pulled out on one side. He's wearing kind of merchant's clothing, and again, it's clear he didn't take it off before he got into the bed. He smells very slightly of stale ale, and I'd say he's got this big bandage around his midsection where somebody slashed at his stomach. It's like, you got some damage, boy.
Have you had
Damage.
that looked at properly? How long have you had that?
Like this. This one today.
Oh, do you want me to have a look at that for you?
Well, I think it's the bloody least you could do.
Oh, okay. Well, Sit down. Cora,
He puts
do you
what
have
is a
5 minutes
sizable
until we need
warhammer
to be
back
like
down.
angry now?
So we were walking down a corridor, were we? And Noki is at the end.
He is now.
With
a very apologetic-looking maid.
I think. Trying to think, like if Cora, like it depends if Farewell sounds like he's in trouble or if, like whether she'd be zoned. I don't know. I feel like she might be a bit zoned at this point. So she's gonna keep walking, like she wants to walk straight up to Noki.
He says, Madeleine said that you had some feedback. You can tell he's paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But by now, I guess me and Eclipse come down the stairs also.
Oh yeah. You're pushing
Joined
through
it,
the
right?
press. Yeah.
I'm sitting
Okay,
at a
good.
table, just fuck, like,
I'm trying to imagine where we are, whether we're upstairs or downstairs. I don't think I would have wandered too far
Downstairs.
away from
downstairs.
Farewell. I don't think, because I'm not sure if like everyone's threatening him. They're not threatening him, are they?
No,
No.
the dwarf that was kind of on his way to, flattening Farewell's head is now being treated by Farewell. It's all going
Yeah.
a bit fast.
Right.
Actually, fuck it, I just head back.
You'll
and
go
I
back
try,
to bed.
I just head back to my...
Bed.
Yeah.
Let's go sleep.
Does he walk past me?
I mean,
Presumably.
yeah, like I'm gonna say that after I say god shit on my meal yet again, I just go back to my room.
I'm gonna grab him by the wrist if I can catch him, just before he to stop him, try and stop him from going past. So
I don't think Aiden's gonna like that. He wants sleep.
Should we concentrate a bit on Cora and
Yes.
Noki?
Yeah. I was about to say, because we've got it's a minute to 11, so
oh shit!
Oh, well, is it best to just hold it at that moment?
that's what I was
Or
going to
just
suggest.
have a little bit of Noki Cora interaction, and maybe he'll reveal
Sure,
what
because I
happened.
feel like this isn't going to be a short interaction necessarily.
Go on. I got time. I took
Just go
tomorrow
off.
Right.
Right.
I lost everyone for a second. Right. Noki. Is it Noki or Noki? Noki?
Noki,
What was
how
that?
can they help
Noki.
you?
I'm kind of pissed off. It might be obvious, but I don't like being okay. I came here to be employed. I didn't come here to be some puppet to someone who's going to do whatever they fucking want. Okay? So when I go to sleep in my own place, I expect to wake up there, not here. Does that make sense? Is this
Not a
normal
single word of it, I'm afraid. Not
Okay.
one word.
I went back to my old place to find my stuff, and I decided to stay the night. One last time, I'm happy to stay here. Anyway, I went to sleep. When I woke up, I was here. And apparently, I was just beamed here by someone who just likes doing stuff with magic just because, and I don't appreciate it. So if that's going to be the way it is, then I want to talk to someone about it. And if that's Miss Green, I'm fine to talk to her.
It is a minute
Eclipse
past
just
11.
like in the corner purring.
It's a minute past 11, and so I'll leave you with this. Noki goes to open his mouth, but stops, and in all of your heads you hear a soft voice say, I'm terribly sorry about that, Cora. It was an automated protection. You were being attacked, you see. So I pulled you to where it was safe. Unfortunately, because it was an automatic protection, I wasn't aware of it until a few moments ago. we shall speak in the morning. It wasn't Olivia's voice.
Yeah, we will.
Ooh.
So I can't necessarily reply because I don't know who I'm replying to, right?
Nope.
No, it was more of a psychic tannoy, I guess, rather than a message spell.
Rather than yeah.
Okay, but we're finishing that, you said.
And
yeah,
that was that. So for everybody watching the stream, I don't know how many people we've got. Actually, I've been more concerned with the stupid amount of information that I've plugged into a single session. So
Indeed.
everybody who's watching and everybody who's going to be watching, thank you very much. It's been fantastic getting into some of the guts and bones and bare bones of this story. And and we shall see more of this next session as Cora is driving the story hard into the next scene, which is great because I was trying to set this up in such a way that I didn't have to keep sending messages to going, oh, go here, go there. You're going to one of the many places that you need to be going, so that is fantastic. I'm hoping, although I have no evidence that it's going to be ready by then, and I'm going to do a bit of a shout out on the way out. So the portrait for Renata Green is being done by a very talented D&D artist. We met her, Corinne and I met her 2 years ago, no, a year and a bit ago, at MCM Comic Con, and we got to meet Michelle and her partner Nikki during this Comic Con. Oh, there we go. Oh, well recovered. That's a picture of Luna that's by Michelle as well. You can follow her on Twitter and Instagram on @Feline Trickster. And if you look at the starting screen, the loading screen that we had during the break and before now, the Eclipse of the Moon sketch is by her as well. If Renata Green's picture has arrived by then, great. If not, we'll go ahead with meeting Renata anyway. I was going to try to hold off, but I knew that once I'd hit this milestone that some of you may feel compelled to hunt her down by hook or by crook. So we'll do this, and next session will be meeting Renata Green. Okay.
Bye.
Thanks very much, guys. And good night, everybody at home.
Oh my god!